Start the stream. Monetization is going to be on. Listen, people. Hopefully you can see what's going on. Let's start it the right way. D-Boy Slim, let's start it the right way, because you guys might be watching Late Night Hip Hop Live, but it all stems from the basement. So I'm gonna say this. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the basement. Cheers. My name is Bruce Lively.
And I'm D-Boy Slim.
That's him right there. And we're gonna start it with some old school.
Nah, y'all got a part of me, man. That Raekwon, boy.
I got something just for y'all. Before we get this started, we gotta do this. We got new music. New music. Check it out. Oh, that's not it. We're back. We're supposed to be Monday, but instead it's 1:41 a.m. on a Tuesday night.
Come on to the box.
On a Wednesday morning, if you will. Team Box Cutter Beats. We back. D-Boy Slim, you got some amazing news for us, I'm sure. It's a lot going on. All right. So listen, we do know that you guys have clicked on this because you saw the title. The title was simply Raekwon versus Ghostface in the Verzuz, and that meant that we had to do this. We were supposed to do it last night. Things happened. You know what it is. D-Boy Slim, man. What else is going on? Before we get into that, let's tease the people with a little something, man. I heard you say something about Young Boy. What was that? Who's that? The YFN people?
NBA Young Boy.
NBA Young not Boy. YFN. Okay, NBA Young Boy. What's going on? What happened?
According to a bunch of reports on just about every social media site, there was a federal bus, not just any random police, state trooper or beat cop.
Okay.
There was a federal bus and arrest of NBA Young Boy, in which, I mean, I don't like to speculate to these things, but seeing as though the reports say K9 was involved, we can only assume that they were looking for drugs.
Okay.
Why that he was targeted and was looking for drugs, who knows? He could have been under investigation for a while now and just not realized it or whatever.
Right.
So, at the end of the day, what we do know is that there was an arrest made. He gave a chase. He ran, which, I don't like to speculate. I would, I don't want anybody, getting in trouble because of our platform. But him running kind of alludes to the fact that maybe they got him at the time that he may have been dirty. So.
Nah, not at all. Let me tell you why. What you said first was most important. The reason why there's a trial is because there's no such thing as assumptions in the law. And running, I'm gonna tell you something. If a cop come after me in the time of BLM right now, they kill you for nothing. Any black man that runs from a cop coming after them is well within their rights, and they don't have to be dirty, and that's a fact. Especially if you're rich, especially if you are a target. So no, that doesn't mean anything to me. But it is an outstanding situation.
I don't want to get too far off topic, but let me present this question to you. Do you think running increases or decreases your chances of a policeman trying to kill you or trying to shoot you or trying to harm or maim you?
It definitely depends on the situation, what the police officer says, how they're acting at the time. Is there backup? Were they already aggressive? Did they look like they're looking for something to shoot? So the best option might be to run away, fight or flight, in the reptilian brain. Like what's way back here, sometimes you can't think logically. You're thinking about preserving yourself. And when the police comes after you and talking this, acting crazy, you know what's going on. If you feel threatened or you feel like running might save your life, you'll do it. So, me logically right now, of course, don't run. Running is going to increase your chances of getting in trouble or harm. But in the moment,
yeah, that's my only point.
But
bro.
in the
I'm
moment
not
of fight or
so
flight, in the moment of fight or flight, in the moment of being, we've seen the videos. In a moment of police being super aggressive, there's nothing that you can say. They're looking for something. They want to find it, whether it's there or not. And there comes a point where the inside of you is like, yo, if you don't run now, you see where this is going, and you might just have to run. I see it. I've seen it. But anyway, we won't have to get off. We won't have to go into that. But NBA YoungBoy, huh? And you said because K9s were involved, so you believe it's the probably about some drugs, huh?
Yeah. It's never a good look. That's never a good look.
So let's go on the other side of that. If it is true, why y'all? Why are you an idiot, man? Like, why are you in the game? How many times do we have to say it? You get into this game, the rap game, to make money and leave that other stuff. Why are you still getting caught with? Why are you still being looked at?
Right.
Why are you still being looked at, even? Like, there should be 10 other people that get looked at before you. You know what I'm saying?
In a day and time where your phones and cameras are recording everything, there's such a thing called hip hop police. There's a whole department dedicated to only watching hip hop artists. And they're whatever illicit or illegal activities, like there's a whole department dedicated to that. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it.
And so, and we go back to what we was talking about, man. So now when I tell you that, oh man, I'm too tired, man. It's 2 a.m, people. Who were we talking about? Where I was like, he doesn't need to be being chased by the police anymore. He's too old. What's he doing raising a blood flag at 50 years old? You know who I'm talking about. Cameron boy.
Well, there you have it. Jim Jones.
Why are you still doing this? See, it's easy for you to say that about YoungBoy, NBA YoungBoy, but when I raise that point about Jim Jones, you like, nah, he just doing his thing.
Jones, you know the funny thing about Jim? It's almost as if Jim, every now and again, to see if he still has it, he sticks his hand in the fire
purposefully.
and to his credit, he comes out unburned. Like he comes out unscathed. Like the guy was on, it was recorded on the federal wiretap. The guy was recorded on the federal wiretap talking about giving out DPs and disciplining a gang member. Like, and notice, like you said, at 40 something and at 50 something years old, you like, why? Like, he's really still like that. Like he's all you can make of that is that he's really like if you thought that it was just raps with Jimmy, when you hear him on the federal wiretap, you like, wow, he's really ordering DPs and handing out pumpkins. And it's like, damn, the only, like I said, with Jim, to his credit, he still has all his millions. He's come out unscathed.
Yeah, but you say
indictment.
You say
All
unscathed.
the people around him, that 9 tray that he was so much hollering and holding the flag for, that is all but crumbled.
Yeah, I mean, but you say unscathed. Ask his kids or his wife. Because he's still rapping and still okay, the damage is not just that. Like, what are they going through? What do they have to go through every time he gets caught being chased by the police or caught on the phone or has to I mean, it's a limited
I would
view.
imagine, like I said, if he's still allowed to provide a living in a certain lifestyle for them, they don't
care
that they're isolated to it.
Come on,
I won't say that they're oblivious or isolated from it, but yeah, I'm not so sure. How much of a direct effect
that has a lot.
His legalities and his troubles. That's like if you have to go to court in the morning. I'm quite sure your family will be okay until you get back to court.
Not if my court was televised. My mom's gonna be asked about it everywhere she goes. My daughter's gonna be asked about it in school everywhere she goes. Yeah, but my concerts is not. Yeah, but that's known. One is being known for no. One is being known for doing something good. One is being known for doing something criminal. There's two different things, and you know that. Don't act crazy. Like if you have to deal with that as a wife and a kid.
We're not talking about Pope John. We're not talking about Pope John. Like this is Jim Jones, the 9 tray from Harlem, from Foster Projects, diplomats. Like this, let's be honest about it. Jim has never been, a church, somebody you would deem as a saint.
But
for lack of better words,
one is music
Jim
that you
has
sell.
never been anybody you would deem as a saint.
One is music that you sell. The other
the thing
is
about
federal indictments.
Your question was how could it or how would it affect the rest of his family? And again, I would say if he hasn't had to do any time behind anything that he was ever accused of, he hasn't been shot.
Anytime?
Huh? No, he hasn't done any time. For any crime that he was accused of.
Okay.
He hasn't done any time. He's one of the few, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he's one of the few in hip hop that actually is of that life and of that lifestyle and hasn't had to go do time, hasn't had to sit down and do. So you ask, what's the difference? You'll make the distinction between him and NBA Youngboy. NBA Youngboy is facing some time right now, and he's only 21. He has a baby by Floyd Mayweather. He has a baby by Floyd Mayweather's daughter. He's facing some time right now. So,
okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Guess what? I can't. I got nothing to say today. You win. I concede that. My thing is the fear of living and always waiting for that to happen at 50 years old. Can destroy your family.
No, I wouldn't suggest it.
All I'm saying is if I'm a wife at home, no, the reality of that always being in the cards, always being a possibility, no matter how rich you are, can destroy can destroy a kid's outlook on life or your wife outlook on things. Like always having that fear, and maybe you never got arrested, but knowing that it's always around the corner is something unnecessary. But guess what? I can see the point. He never been arrested, and boy, young boy is. So peace out to him, man. Free NBA, man. I don't know what he did or if he did it. Nobody knows, but that's some interesting news there, man. And hopefully as things go on, you'll be able to enlighten us about it. But everybody pour a little something out for that guy and lift your head up and speak his name every now and then. Keep him out, keep him alive until.
Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang.
Now let's get into that. I'm gonna let you go and start because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. First of all, listen, people. This is what you clicked on for, right? We had to talk. This is what we do. It's live. Just relax, get your drink, get your smoke, get whatever it is that you do, and relax with us today because we got a lot to talk about. Now, when I first heard about Raekwon versus Ghostface in the Verzuz, what do we always say, D-Boy? Well, this is always about the bangers, the radio hits, the ones people know. Who has more of those, and then you compare those. The first thing
No, that's not what I said. That may be what you said.
Well, that's what it was started on. That's what it was predicated on. That's what it was predicated on.
That's not my criteria.
No, that's what it was predicated. Okay,
that may be your criteria.
We talked about this
that's
before. When we say the bangers, we mean the ones that got the most play, that lit the club up. Like, who had more of those is usually where it starts. When it comes to the Verzuz, and
that's not my. That's
but wait a minute. But wait a minute.
You to speak for Bruce right now.
Well, let me finish. I got you. You're right.
That's not my criteria.
You're right. But the other side of that is, I'm not the one saying that. That's what it was on Verzuz when it started. When you first had the producers battles and this and that. It was about who had the most bangers. When you did have man.
If you have two multi-platinum artists,
right,
two Grammy,
right,
or
and
two
so
Grammy,
now that it's expanded,
two Grammy award-winning producers.
When you got Timbaland versus so and so,
if you have two Grammy acclaimed producers, then that's probably going to be the criteria.
And what's the name of the auto-tune guy? Y'all don't know how tired I am. My brain is not working. Auto-tune man versus
Timbaland and Swiss. You had Babyface and Teddy Riley.
No, auto-tune. What's his name? Auto-tune with the dreads. Auto-tune with the dreads, man. He made the auto-tune big. Him.
T-Pain?
T-Pain. When he had T-Pain come out versus whoever he was against. The whole idea was who had the biggest hits. But anyway, when I heard that this was happening, my main thing was, man, Wu-Tang is a cultural phenomenon, but there wasn't really like any single one of the artists had a bunch of hits, a bunch of radio play, it was for the heads, written for, by, and given to the heads. It was hip hop head music. It's underground. It was actually embraced as underground by those artists. Right? Backpackers love it. Like, you're not going to find that many. But when I took a listen, I forgot how many actual bangers. I'm always thinking of them as underground, but I forgot how many bangers Ghostface had. I forgot how many classics he was involved in. I forgot how many Wu-Tang classics, not just Ghostface classics, that you're going to find Ghostface on. How many dope beats and productions that he chose that ended up on his albums. I forgot about the Fish Scale, the little more recent one, maybe 10, 15 years ago. I forgot that he has bangers that make it from MTV to Radio 1 as well as the underground. And it was proven yet again in a 2.5-hour special. I was amazed by both of them. I was enlivened by watching it. But Ghostface, clearly, bruh. Clearly. has proven to be more than just the underground backpack dope rapper of Wu-Tang. He's not the Method Man, but he's next. And I stand on that.
Yeah, respectfully, I have to disagree. First of all, when Wu-Tang kicked down the door, what was different about them? Well, everything was different. Aside from the fact that they came from New York City, they came from a borough that was untapped and or
Shaolin,
undiscovered, if you will. Not only did they come from a borough that not many other people represented, but they did it in such an unorthodox way, where they took what was the kung fu flicks that we used to watch on Sunday afternoons and Saturday mornings. If you're from New York,
everybody had the same thing. It was the same in Chicago.
And they implemented it in the music and in skits and in their visuals, in the video. So that concept alone was different. I don't want to hold y'all up. I said all that to say that, with that being, with the way they came, it actually did receive mainstream acclaim. It actually did. They actually were able to do their numbers. They actually did have platinum hits. When you speak of 36 Chambers. Now,
right,
the first one up to bat was Method Man.
Right.
They actually did have commercial success with Method Man. Method Man did actually win a Grammy with Mary J. Blige. So I say that to say I disagree with you saying that they were really, just the underground or they didn't have bangers.
No, but the whole point was, like I said, Method Man is that for sure. But everyone else was kind of. But go ahead.
Further
go ahead.
into the roster or further down into the lineup, when we speak of Raekwon and Ghostface, which respectfully, they had their own hits that received commercial success. Maybe, like you said, maybe your point was not as many as Method Man or their first LP, which was the 36 Chambers.
Yeah.
But still in all, they respectfully had their own, commercial success at moments, in their moments. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like Raekwon cooked his fellow Klansmen.
Oh man.
Raekwon took his fellow Klansmen to school.
I should have known.
Yeah, and it reminded me of not only how much I enjoy Wu-Tang, but the kind of pen and the kind of pen game Raekwon actually had. I feel he won the battle, the Verzuz, for several reasons. One, Ghostface was obviously out of shape, and in no way, shape, or form in performance ready.
Come on, bro.
And I know that, and I know Bruce, who's on the other side of the camera right here, he knows that better than anybody as far as preparation for performance or lack thereof. And obviously, Ghostface was the latter when it comes to performance-wise. Now, why do I say that? Because although he may have pulled out hits or classics, or as Bruce referred to them as bangers, underground or whatever the case, when he performed them, I'm like, his Ghostface, what made Ghostface was not only what he was saying, but how he was saying. It was always animated and colorful with Ghostface. So you expect that energy when you see him live and performing these raps. You kind of expect that certain type of energy. Not that he wasn't out of his seat, But I guess because we're looking at a guy that's maybe 50 or close to 50 years old, who obviously hasn't done it in a while. Who obviously hasn't done it in a while. Now, Raekwon, on the other hand, he probably had, and which he said in the show that he hadn't done it in a while either. But for some reason, his energy kind of matched the catalog and what he was like. He was there. If they were there for a battle, Raekwon was sharper. His sword was sharper in the battle. Like I said, the songs that he selected, I thought was well balanced. And when I say well balanced, meaning he pulled some off the 36 Chambers, he pulled some off the Purple Tape, which was a classic, and he pulled some off for Mobilarity, which wasn't as popular as 36 Chambers and the Purple Tape. So, but they were all bangers, and he performed them well. Like Raekwon hasn't lost a step. If you thought that, Raekwon, who's maybe the same age as Ghostface or older, if you may have thought that he lost a step on breath control or stage presence, or even just his bop, his swagger and bop, none of it, all of it was on point. And so, like I said, that's one of the many reasons I feel like he won the Verzuz. But also the song selection, the catalog in itself. Not that I didn't like Ghost's, but actually Ghost went with his commercial songs. The joint that he did with Carl Thomas. The joint,
That's what I was gonna say. When he did that, man, when he did that, you don't get a nigga back like that.
And I just didn't enjoy him as much as I did the Raekwon joint.
Nah, listen, man. What he did was came out with Fourth Chamber, with Jizza. It was banging, and then your boys came out. Then Raekwon came out after that. House of Daggers, House of Flying Daggers. Ooh, great banger.
Facts.
When Mighty Healthy came on, bro, that beat, that ghost right there, that ghost face that adds syllables and rhymes at different places in the beat, that does what he does better than anybody else whilst telling that story. It started to go downhill. Not for him, for Ray. Listen, man. We're talking what the performance that you're talking about doesn't even really start until after the daggone uniform change, to after the outfit change, because Ghost was right up there with energy for the entire hour and a half. What I think you're taking as less energy was him maybe forgetting some of those words. And I can forgive him for that because he has more albums. He has more albums, more shows, more tour dates than Raekwon, believe it or not. So when they pulled up stuff that he couldn't remember, some of his classics that he couldn't remember, it was only until the next one that he was right back on. So I'm not sure what it is that you were missing from him. But in any rate, when he comes back with that, you don't get a nigga back like that. I think that's the one. Was that the one with Carl Thomas? He pulled out the radio jam that was banging, that was beautiful.
Okay, girl.
Yeah. And then Ray comes back with something that nobody even knows. Even me, nobody even knows. And it's like, I believe that the song.
That's another feature. Like I said, and he chose to go that route, and I'm not mad.
But it's still winning.
I think his thing was to pull out the joints that the crowd and everybody at home would recognize.
Isn't that what this is about?
But yeah, like I said, Ray's catalog. He not only, because Ray could have shut it down when Ray pulls out a Cream, it's over. Once Ghost wasn't on that joint. You understand what I'm saying? Like once Raekwon pulled out Cream, it's over. It's over.
It's over. 2.5 hours is over.
Come on, man. He pulled out Criminology.
Come on, man.
From the Purple Tape.
Nah, listen, man. I heard. That's wrong. You lost already.
It was just the way he
2 hours
out the heavy hitters that we know Raekwon for, I appreciated that.
So let me piggyback off that, and I'm gonna let you go back, and then you respond to this. Yes, Raekwon started he started out with Outkast first of all, right?
Classy.
Just to let you know, like, bam, I'm out here. On the other hand, your boy Ghost had the opposite approach. Let me get the name right. When he's doing Mighty Healthy and Fourth Chamber, which are also classics, but not even the classics that he's about to play at the end, he's also hitting them with he's hitting them with the underground stuff and the stuff that he knows his personal fans want to hear up first. And then he still had time left, like an entire hour or 45 minutes left of bangers at the end. How does Ray compete with that? You tell me.
To me, like I said, he OD'd. He OD'd with the, and if no disrespect to the women and our female viewers, but to me, he OD'd with those songs. Like Ghost has a lot of those, right? That was something I was reminded of too. Like you just said, it's okay, girl. You don't do the nigga back like that. You got that one. You got the one with Carl Thomas. Well, oh man, I forgot how that one goes. But
it's the real life stories, man. Real life stories, man. Everybody got a girl, man. What you want, man?
So it's like he Tony Montana.
Come on.
Everybody likes to party, have fun, and talk about.
What are we talking about?
But, like I said, to me, he might have OD'd with that. Whereas, like I said, Raekwon's catalog, it was serious, man. It was serious, man.
That's what you going with?
You're talking about Cream.
That's what you going with?
Talking about Cream here, man. It was serious.
That's what you going with.
The stories Raekwon was telling, talking about getting Cecil on the phone from Brooklyn and all. Raekwon was on it.
So Ghostface talking about.
What you want me to tell you?
So Ghostface
was on it, man.
Ghostface.
And then his performance was better. His performance was better.
So Ghostface talking about the story when he had to go talk to the dude's moms who just died as the ambulance came and picked him up. That's not serious?
That was him.
Yeah, it's not serious? So, I mean, what are we talking about? Because one doesn't have anything that plays for the females or that blows up at the party.
He did like 15 out of 40 joints. He did like 15 of those joints.
But
he did like 15 of those joints.
Out of 40. Out of 40 though.
What you gonna do about breaking up with your girlfriend?
It's not even about breaking up. It's about life. Like your only thing can't be you used to lace the cracks with the weed and they call it bunk. Your life can't be all about that, fam. It's gotta have some other stuff in there, fam. You used to lace the cracks with the weed and you call it bunk. That's not Ghostface. Like that's all I'm saying. You can't have that 100% of the time. You just can't have that 100% of the time. It's not real life. Come on now. Come on, man. What's up, Mystic Exploration? Good to see you here late night, 2:13 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. Appreciate you, Mystic Exploration, for joining us. But, yeah. So that's my thing, man. Like, what is this Verzuz challenge? The origination of it was to see who had the bangers. How many... The first question was, man, I had so many bangers, I had so many hits, and then the other person would say, nah, well, don't forget I had this and I had that. And it was born. I'm not saying that only if you got radio hits you win a Verzuz, but what I'm saying is if you can pull out Mighty Healthy, the Chambers, the joint, one of the best joints where he is talking to the guy who just died moms because he knew him, all of that, and still have that Tony Montana, and you can still have 15 of those to put in a 40 song set. Ray is not there. It's just not there. You might have loved his underground stuff, but how much of that stuff was underground? Be honest with yourself. How much of that stuff was just underground stuff? How much of
There
the
was
stuff?
nothing underground about. I grew up on the crime side, the New York crime side. Staying alive was no job.
How many times you gonna
Second
say
hand,
the same song? That's what I'm trying to tell you is
moms bounced on old man. Then we moved to Shaolin Land, a young youth. Go rocking the gold tooth, low goose. Only way I begin to G off was drug loot. Then that started like this, son. Rolling with this one and that one. Pulling out. There's nothing underground about that. There's nothing underground about it. That kills it every time. That's what I'm saying. Like, his catalog was more heavy. It was more heavy. All of that dancing and partying, that's cool. Like I said, breaking up with your girlfriend, that's cool. That was cool, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I use the word seriousness. Like, Ray's catalog was just a little more serious. And call it what you like.
15 out of 4.
Bagging up the drugs and all of that. Call it whatever you like. But like I said, moms bounced on old man. You see? So he gives you reason to the rhyme. Like,
but guess what though? Ghost gonna tell you about. Ghost is also talking to the young dude on the corner about the dudes he know who had to run from the cops. One survived, one got put in jail, and then he's talking to the young man trying to raise him up. And right after that, he can talk about Tony Montana. When you can do both of those, it's better. That's better, bruh. That's better. The both of those actually exist. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just get stuck. You can't just get stuck and shoehorn in the cracks all day. Like, that's not the way to work, fam. Mystic Exploration says, all good, mate. Just finished watching the Karen videos. Oh, man, listen, there's a new one about to come up, people. Looking for them Karen videos. There's a new one about to come up. They won't stop with the mask stuff, so we got something coming up with these masks. Just stay tuned 24 hours. But, yeah, man. So, but I do respect you. I do understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that the diversity and what I look at a Verzuz for is the nostalgia. When you go back and you hear these things like, man, that did blow. Oh, I remember how I felt when I was there. Oh, I remember this being popular.
Yeah, and that's,
that is one thing.
Both of those.
Yeah.
Because they did bring that back. Like, they did bring that Wu-Tang nostalgia back. And whether you was a Ghostface fan or a Raekwon fan, you for the most part, and that goes from now and all the way back then, you respected both of their pen game. You respected both of their pen game.
Nah, for real.
You respected them both as MCs. Like, and even like I said, Ghostface on his worst day, he probably runs circles around the average dude. So, I don't say that.
No,
I don't say that lightly. Like, oh, Ghost would tell you, to your face that he just wasn't in good shape, and he hasn't did it in a while,
Yeah, I still don't.
It's not a knock on the brother, but it's just what it was.
I don't think that Raekwon was that much better though.
Like I said, to see Ray handle his handles the way he did, like the way he was rapping those songs and the energy that he was putting behind it and the swagger and the stance, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you look back at it, it was all there for Ray.
What were those big old knee pads?
That he just came off tour last week or something.
Why it looked like his knees was broke, man? Them knee pads that he was wearing. Every time I looked, it made him look like he was short. It was crazy.
You like this outfit or not? I like the sneakers. Even I like the sneakers.
Even Ghost said
because he
Ghostface said
Wallabies. Wallabies like Ghostface.
Ghost did say that those were the best pair of New Balance he'd ever seen.
Yeah, the New Balances did.
But speaking on that,
Raekwon didn't want to conform to wearing tight the slim outfits that the kids wear. So he went about it his own way.
I like it. I like it. But one thing I do want to talk about, I'd love to hear your opinion on this. This was, for me, the most telling reason why Wu-Tang made it. Not just because they were all dope, not just because Riz is a genius in putting it together and his production and idea of the Kung Fu, but the idea of brotherhood and family was apparent all the way through the Verzuz match. Everyone else tries to play the game of I'm beating you, I'm this and that. We had one where Gucci Mane and Jeezy was actually combatants. The other ones they put that face on. This is the first one where niggas complimenting somebody's shoes, and on the other hand, being like, "Oh, I remember that song with you." They had interludes where the DJ would play soft music and they would talk to each other about history and life. I have not seen that on the Verzuz before, and it conveyed a type of brotherhood and a type of congeniality, like a blending that you could tell why they made it as a group. And if anyone else was there, even when they brought in what's Master Killer.
So I'm gonna say this.
They brought in Master Killer, and it was just like the family. And I thought that was mad refreshing. You can be in competition and still be cordial and brotherly because it's natural. It's innate to them. I actually loved that part of it.
In all the verses, I think at least the artists, you may have seen more of a competitive stance with the producer, and even the producers. The way it's usually formatted is that one artist does a song from his catalog and the other does the same, and then in between those songs, they give you a little quick, brief, synopsis, if you will, or dialogue as to when they made the song or how the song came about or where the song was made at. And like it's noted that it's just a friendly competition, with the exception of the Gucci and Jeezy versus.
I mean, it's never that serious. People know what it is
because of obvious reasons.
But that camaraderie that they had, I haven't seen.
There was no real tension between any of the artists at all. But what made Wu-Tang and Raekwon especially fun, because I think this was the first time you seen two members of the same group versus each other.
Yeah.
With their own catalog, which is why Wu-Tang is unique in itself.
Exactly.
Because you have
that's the only one you could do that with.
Group members that has career catalogs individually.
That is the only group you could even do that with.
So
period.
Because they made that dynamic, fun to watch. And two, yes, the brotherhood that was on display was different than if you've seen Jadakiss and Fabulous versus, only because their history goes so far back.
Yeah.
They literally grew up with one another. So they can tell you about a battle with both of them when they were probably 16, 17 years old. Or when they made Cream, or when they made All So Simple with RZA, and where they was in their lives and careers. So that's what made that dynamic fun to watch, and the brotherhood that was on display. But no, I all the verses have been from even the E40 and Too Short joint. It was just because mainly they come together and they're celebrating each other's catalog.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Of catalogs. So it's not like they're at each other's neck for the top spot in the game or anything like that. But Wu-Tang was especially fun to watch. Raekwon and Ghost, hats off to both of them because, like I said, their history runs so deep. They've been in the same group for over 20 to 25 years. So, yeah, half of the songs that Raekwon will do, the Purple Tape being a classic, it was a classic because Ghostface was on half the song. So it's like their history runs so deep. It was just fun to watch them bounce off each other as usual.
Yeah, and I don't want to get me wrong. I'm not saying that there is actual beef with everybody, like besides the one I mentioned. But you're 100% right. There really is all about celebrating these catalogs, the people, the moment. I just haven't seen a camaraderie like that, and it made me feel good. I like to watch it. It was interesting because of that. It was more interesting because of that. So yeah, that was awesome. All right, well, we have to agree to disagree on who won. What do you guys think? What do y'all think? Leave it in the comments, man. Mystic Exploration, I appreciate you so much for joining us today. I know 2:25 a.m. Is not the time people are going to be commenting, but when we post this up, you guys comment right down there in the comment section.
Who won the verses, Raekwon or Ghost?
You know it was Ghost.
Nah, Ghost got
it
cooked.
was obvious.
That's what Ghost better get in the gym. Ghost better get back in the gym.
You keep acting like him forgetting words means he was active and all over the place, man. He was using the entire stage. Stop that, bro. Stop that.
Which is why he couldn't really perform his songs properly. That's the whole thing.
He forgot.
You taught me that. The funny thing, I'm gonna tell the fans, like, you taught me that. Like, it's obvious. There was no preparation. It's obvious.
That's wrong. I don't believe that. He forgot two songs. He forgot the words for two songs because obviously he wasn't prepared to have those two songs played. I'm guessing. That's my guess. You're 100% right.
The dude was doing this on like,
but he was doing.
Not gonna get it.
That does get it. What else you want him to do?
Ray was there with it all night.
Ray was down here with it like this. You know what I'm saying? He was also old. He was on that old. He was on that old man. Come on, man. He was grooving with it. He was grooving with it, man. He was
like the dude was rubbing on his belly.
The dude, yeah, he did the samba with it. What you want from me?
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be shit. But yeah, yo, tell us what's up in the battle world.
Oh man, listen, August 3rd. We've been waiting on that. That's your boy, Cassidy against Hitman, right? But I just they put up some old stuff. If you go to patreon.com/teamboxcutter, CUTTA, I just put up 3 battles that they did. Some band battles. T-Top versus, I can look him up real quick. We had T-Top versus Charlie Clips, old school battle that was crazy. And a whole bunch of other ones. Y'all gonna want to check them out. The 27th, there's another battle. On the 27th.
Did you see the Ace Amin and John John?
Now, Ace Amin and John John. I heard about it. What happened did you see it?
I did. That
was
a solid battle.
I didn't record it.
To the whole bullpen and John the Don and his team. That was a pretty well put together battle. The hype, the battle actually lived up to the hype.
What I did see
lived up to the hype.
Was all the reactions that everybody had, and it pretty much
actually lived up to the hype.
So let me say this, and then you respond. They told, from what all of the reactions I heard, Vlada Fly, all the actual battlers, every reaction said that Amin actually held his own, may not have won. But if he lost, it's not a loss really, because people was expecting him to do a lot worse. Your thoughts on that?
Well, let me say this. It's always kind of murky waters, if you will, when you have someone performing in the same league that they own, where they're writing. I remember me and you. I think me and you watched the Lux and Arsenal battle, and which should have been. I think it would have been a better battle if Smack booked that instead of Arsenal. But it's a perfect example of, like I said, a lot of time, and I don't know the ins and outs and the whys, as far as all the intricacies as far as booking these battles and marketing and the dollars that go behind it. But overall, the product itself, it just wasn't in which when you talk about Arsenal and Lux, it should have been a good battle.
Yeah, it should have
But
been on URL. You're right.
It just wasn't that good of a battle. I said that to say this one was.
Mm.
And if people didn't know who Ace Amin was before,
Now you know.
you probably should know now. And they had a real beef. Like they had a real little issue and situation in the streets that they were able to iron out as men verbally during the battle. And that was very refreshing to see. It was done properly, and they put their pin game up. The energy was there, as you always hear me speak about. The energy it was at a maximum, and they both got their point out. They both got their point across. Their lines and rhymes and punches were both felt. Performances was I think top of the line. At the
Okay.
end of the day, I think John out rapped him, and it was classy. Like it was classy. He came out there in the suit, sipping his bottle.
Where is John John?
Like said, it's not like it's a loss for Ace. I mean, because at the end of the day, he got, like I said, his point was made. His rhymes, every his performance was on point. If you didn't know who he was, then you know now. And then he got paid from John. So whether if you felt like John won, which obviously after John monetizes the views from the battle, he'll get paid again. But still in all, he had to pay Ace Amin. So everybody wins. Everybody wins. But yeah, I think the battle itself, John out-rapped him. John obviously, one of the better battle rappers in battle.
Yeah, John, I believe is getting a whole lot of love from the battle rap community, and deservingly so. Deservingly so. It's not as much as you like Geechee Gotti's and these people who wear belts and apply for every single battle that ever comes. But I believe that he's getting his just deserves as far as people knowing that he's one of those beasts out there that you're gonna have to beat. But check it out on the 27th, people. URL caffeine. Listen to these cards, man. Danny Myers, of course. Every time. Hold on, I got you.
This is what we mean.
Danny Myers.
When we say YouTube, lack of preparation.
Nah, well, you know what, man? That's what happened when it's 2:33 a.m., man. I can't live like this. This
is what we mean when we say lack of preparation.
So, if I can get it, hold on, man, hold on. No, I'm not letting this go. Every time I press it, it comes back. Danny Myers versus Kid Chaos. B. Dot. Hold on, man. Hold on. I'm about to get this now. Y'all just hold on. Life ain't going down like this.
Okay. RBE.
All right, here we go. Danny Myers. Danny Myers.
And who is it? Big K and Sirius Jones just got out. RBE's got a Big K and Sirius Jones battle coming up.
Oh, that's gonna be fire. Listen, kids, 27th. That's this Saturday. URL. Go to caffeine, or if you don't even worry about that. We're gonna be on here Saturday night. I believe we're gonna have a little recap of this. I'll have all of the footage as usual on our Patreon. Go join up, support local hip hop, support your people, independent newscasters like us. Danny Myers versus Kid Chaos. B. Dot versus Shotgun Suge. B. Dot, if you're not familiar with him, D-Boy, was a dude who you was touting, who you knew when in the last joint that we saw, the outside joint. B. Dot was one of those ones who was going crazy, right? I believe Arsenal beat him.
Is that B Dot?
No, that wasn't B Dot. He was the one before the Arsenal battle. And we both was like, oh man, he had won a bunch of tournaments. He had the Rookie of the Year joint, all of that.
I heard his name. I haven't really tapped in. I won't hold
man,
you. I haven't really tapped in with him. I've heard his name a few times.
Well, he's one to be reckoned with, and he's versus Shotgun Suge, who I think can get beat easily. If he doesn't beat him, I'm gonna take him off my list. I don't like Shotgun. Rum Nitty versus Holmesy the God. Holmesy the God done made it down to the real stage all of a sudden. He been in the little backroom battles forever. But Rum Nitty versus Holmesy the God. Mike P versus Real Seek. Real Seek. I don't know Mike P. Real Seek, I've heard his name. He's been up and coming for a while. Yeah. Listen, people. The 27th URL. Stay tuned right here. Come in. We're going to tell you everything that happened. We're going to have the live footage on our Patreon, plus some. Double Impact 4, which also means there's going to be some tag team matches. I love those. Double Impact 4, the 27th. August 3rd, we're going to have that for you. That's your boy. Who we just said.
John actually beat Gotti.
No, when?
You see?
No, that's supposition. I won't. I'm not gonna back that.
You gotta do your homework.
Well, you do yours. I asked you when. You don't have an answer. Like I don't.
1 year ago. I'm looking at it right now. 1 year ago.
You remember the battle that and John won? That's what you remember. That's what you remember? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. I'll rewatch it. Don't worry about it. I'll rewatch it.
My boy,
we'll see.
You gotta do your homework. What for me? You know I do this.
I'll rewatch it. Listen, people, we've been on here terrorizing your midnight.
I just be listening to the dudes you be shouting out a lot of times. It's like, yo, these dudes already got their head chopped. I didn't keep it.
Well, I just said John. I just said John was dead nice, man. Well, I like Myers.
Every time I turn around, Danny Myers getting his head chopped.
Well, he lost 2 in a row, so he's kind of going down. he's going down. I don't know what's going on. He lost 2 in a row back to back. It's been kind of crazy. I also tout Big K. You got a problem with that? No.
I can't mess with this.
Right.
Bruce,
right. You know what I mean? You know who you messing with?
Up on Big K?
Oh. Don't even act like you put me up on Big K. You put me up on Big K?
That's crazy.
You put me up on Big K? Crazy. Okay, well that's what's up. You got it.
Yeah.
Yo,
and I was watching that earlier too.
I can't really remember.
That's fine.
That's fine. No, you got it. Cause I can't even. I remember finding out Big K from my delving and diving into all of the other battle leagues and finding Big K, but it could very well be. No, but wait a minute. Let me finish. Just so y'all know, I was not watching battle rap at all until D-Boy Slim brought it to my attention as something worth seeing. You win. Smack DVDs. I was not watching battle rap at all until what, 10 years ago.
A long time ago,
this
the DVD era,
this
my
dude
boy.
hit me with the DVD. So when you say, if you say that you brought me the Big K, I'll concede it. It could very well be. It's
Nah,
just so long ago, I forgot. I just
I
forgot.
don't even take credit for stuff like that. It's just that I specifically remember putting you up on them because who's your favorite battle rapper? It's a rhetorical question because you should say Austin.
Obviously.
And I remember letting you see, I purposely letting you watch the Austin, which is one of Big K's earlier battles, letting you watch the Arsenal Big K battle. And I don't think you didn't know nothing about Big K. You didn't know anything.
I actually, now that you say, I actually remember the exact moment. I actually remember it now. But I appreciate that. And that's the thing is, man, y'all watching two veterans. Like, there's nobody that knows more about hip hop as a whole than D-Boy Slim. And there's not many people who know more about the music and the production and the understanding of the marketing than your boy Bruce Lively. When we come together with this show, man, it's magic. You're 100% right, D-Boy. 100% right.
No cap.
No cap. We don't need it. People see what it is. That's why we gaining followers and subscribers. Listen, people, before we go off in a diatribe, that's it, man. Tune in 27th. Tune in on the 3rd. We already we missed the 20th, but what do we have coming up, D-Boy? Before we sign off, what do we have coming up? What's some of the things people can expect to start seeing? I know we have a guest coming in for a top 5 or something like that as well. What do we have coming up?
You know, like we spoke about off here, bro. I definitely want to get back into our verses, to our own verses.
Oh, you mean us picking the artists?
Right.
Yeah. Man, we need to get back in them debates too. Our own verses. I like that. Keep that. Yeah. Okay. Basement debates coming back too. This, of course, is
since we are that was originally our concept.
Right? That's the whole point.
Whether you realize that or not, bro.
That was our concept.
Our concept.
That was our concept. But guess what? We not rich.
Swiss got a little more paper than us.
That's what it is.
That's all right, though. I'm a Swiss, though. I'm a Swiss.
Uh-huh.
The thing is, I actually went to high school with Swiss, so
I know.
It shouldn't be too much of a problem.
There's quite a few of the crew that can remember Swiss beating on the table during lunchtime while y'all was rapping.
That's a whole fact.
Y'all don't know that either. This goes back further than you know. Like, it's not just the rinky-dink talk show, people. Like, what you don't know is stuff like that. But we're not gonna say no more. Like, we'll let that ride, man. It's a lot of history. It's a lot of rap. It's a lot of hip hop, man. With that being said, people, I finished my cup. That means it's time to go. D-Boy, what you got to say?
The basement debates. I like the camera show too, bro. that was real hilarious.
The last Karen joint?
Hilarious. Salute.
Yes. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was she was crazy. She got drug out by her feet. Y'all go check out the Karen videos, man. We got maybe 15 of them up already, and they're growing. People love them. So hey, that's what's up, man. This is the Basement Debates. This is actually Late Night Hip Hop Live. We'll be going back to the old format very soon. Expect some new shows. D-Boy's been in charge of the Basement Debate, so you can expect some cool things coming from that. Without any more ado, peace.